What mathematics is for? It is a way of thinking that identifies and uses patterns. It clarifies everything, including quantity, structure, space, and change. Our state of nature contains mathematics. It is also capable of predicting the future and behavior of any system.
Ian Stewart claims that because nature uses every pattern, there are patterns everywhere. Although nature doesn't utilize numbers, we humans do to express these patterns. The ancient Greeks were able to observe heaven. In their observation, they start to study how the stars forms a pattern, and that pattern is what we call now constellations.
The movement of the constellation over the duration of the year appears to form a half circle, and this movement pattern is what we now refer to as an orbit, and the shape of it is what we now call an ellipse. However, the concept of an ellipse and orbit has forgotten until Johann Kepler rediscovered it in the 16th century during the Renaissance and Baroque eras.
The issue is how to explain it. Isaac Newton of Great Britain and Gottfried Leibniz in the European mainland both independently discovered a new branch of mathematics, at the same time that Johann Kepler rediscovers the concept of orbit. This branch is what we now call calculus, and calculus provided solutions for mathematicians and scientists like Newton and Leibniz.
On the other hand, calculus may be used to calculate changes in planetary motions, while simultaneously allowing you to ask more questions to mathematicians. What's the purpose of this then? The argument is that mathematics serves a dual purpose with the aid of natures, which Ian Stewart created as the first purpose of mathematics. The initial goal of mathematics, according to Stewart's motion, is to comprehend nature and learn meaning underlying patterns occur within it. Kaya naman, ito ay malaking tulong upang kalkulahin ang mga maaaring pagbabago sa ating planetary motion. And it is important because we can also understand the patterns of natures.
The second goal is to structure the underlying patterns mathematically. How does it function? Have you ever noticed how some stars can be arranged to create patterns like animals and legendary beings? These patterns are known as constellations.
On the other hand, their places can be calculated periodically. That is what we call resonance. By knowing the resonance of celestial objects, we can determine standard, reference, and positions. This is the reason why Pluto was discovered in the first place, because the Pluto movement was beyond the record resonance of heavenly objects at that time, and its movement was precisely calculated.
Another function of mathematics is prediction. So it means that with the help of mathematics, we can predict their movement, and that exactly is the last point of Ian Stewart, that mathematics can predict. Mathematics is much useful in our lives than we expected. It doesn't just analyze and compute, but it can also predict how nature will behave with a total of understanding of heavenly bodies. Astronomers can predict lunar and solar eclipses, and also the return of comets. How interesting, right?
Meteorologists have always had difficulties predicting the weather. Yet, despite this, they can still predict weather patterns with the use of mathematics. So, in conclusion, mathematics serves a purpose in maintaining the stability of the cosmos. It aids in our comprehension of nature, arranges the patterns underlying all motion, and makes predictions.
In other words, mathematics serves as a framework for all of creations, from the resonance of the celestial objects to the frequency of waves. Everything around us can be computed. Lahat ng nakikita natin sa ating kapaligiran, ito ay konektado sa mathematics. We just need to pay close attention to what we see while feeling admiration to the natural world.
I'll emphasize that mathematics is not just about analyzing. It also supports the complicated calculations that keep satellites in orbit around the planet to maintain the internet and the network for our mobile phones. And math is something that we all need in our daily lives. I believe that mathematics plays a significant part in each of our lives.
This chapter provides us with a better understanding of the purpose and use of mathematics, also on how mathematics interacts around us, particularly in answering the question what mathematics is for. It outlines how mathematics help us in solving puzzles and how mathematics has developed mathematical branches. One of these is mathematics in discovering the shape of planetary orbits by Ian Stewart. Ian Stewart gave three fundamental laws of planetary motion. Number one, planets move in elliptical orbits with the sun as a focus. 2. A planet covers the same area of space in the same amount of time, no matter where it is in its orbit. 3. A planet's orbital period is proportional to the size of orbit. It is in human nature to be curious, so much so that the uncertain must be broken down to become certain. Stewart mentioned how mathematics does so well in Johannes Kepler was a German astronomer who was famous in the discovery of the shape of planetary orbit. Through Kepler's discovery, the astronomers were given a chance to plot and time the positions of comets and asteroids as they orbit the sun, explaining the universe as we see it, and that includes when Isaac Newton made the epic discovery that the motion of an object is described by a mathematical relation between the forces. The study of mathematics examines the logic of orders, quantity, and shape. Every action we take has in it. It serves as the foundation for everything in our daily lives, including technology for our phones, buildings, the arts, commerce, engineering, and even sports. It is a method of uncovering the structures and rules that underlies an observable pattern and regularity which is more or less systematic.